Hey everyone, SpookDuke here. If there's one thing you should know about me, it's that I love character reveals in video games. Years and years of obsessing over what character is going to be added next to Super Smash Bros. Has only now been replaced with begging and pleading that Beast gets added to Season 10 of Marvel Rivals, please. I get really excited over the character reveals for every season, and Marvel has so many characters for the developers to choose from to be added to future seasons. So I thought it would be fun to discuss every single character that lives in my consciousness at the moment. The first thing we're going to do is discuss what role the character would be in, whether they're a vanguard, a duelist, or a strategist. And I'll also give a little bit of speculation on what their moveset could look like. Then I'm going to give a rating of their likelihood to be added to the game in my mind, and how excited I would personally be if they get added to the game. I feel like this would be the perfect video to sit down at your dining room table and eat some mac and cheese while propping your phone sideways on like a coaster or whatever you have nearby on the table. You should watch food with this video.
What did he say?
You should watch food with this video.
What?
With all that being said, let's get started with our first character for the day, Enchantress. So Enchantress as a character has a lot of things going for her, but the thing that's most prevalent in my mind is her sorcery capability, especially her seduction. Let's talk about that. I think it would be really interesting if Enchantress was added to the game as a strategist, primarily focused on disrupting the other team. Imagine if she was able to blast the other team with an ability that confuses what they're looking at. Like maybe they start to see characters on the enemy team as allies and vice versa. That would be pretty interesting. I just think that this character would be really interesting as a character that pisses everybody off. Imagine she could also, as an ultimate, like seduct one of the players on the other team and control them. Oh my god, imagine if on your screen it just said you're being controlled by Enchantress and you just had free reins of what the other person is doing. You could just completely kill your own team and such. That would be really interesting. She should also have some CC abilities and a heal. Probably as a strategist, there should be a little bit of healing. Although, personal opinion here, I don't think every strategist needs to have a healing capability. I think we should transition away from that and have a little bit more diversity within the strategist role. Let me know if you agree with that. So I'm adding Enchantress as a strategist. How likely would she be? I could see it going either way. I would rank her maybe like a 7, you know? Like it could happen, but also like it totally couldn't happen, you know? It's not something I think that the devs would think of right away, but I don't know. I think it'd be pretty cool. As far as my personal excitement, probably like an 8, you know? And the summer skins? Yeah, yeah. Hitmonkey is a character I've seen a lot of people talk about through leaks and stuff. And at this point, it seems almost inevitable. I don't know how much I should be trusting leaks, but I feel like Hitmonkey as a character is so rivals coded that it has to happen eventually, right? Full transparency, I don't know that much about Hitmonkey other than the fact that it's a monkey with guns, and that's pretty cool, isn't it? Hitmonkey just seems like a very obvious duelist in the game. Likelihood, probably like an 8 out of 10. My personal excitement, 7. You know, Dazzler is another character I hear people bring up all the time, especially in contention with Luna Snow, because people think that Dazzler should have been the representation instead. With that in mind, all I gotta say is name one Dazzler song. Go ahead. Poser. In my mind, I think the developers would make Dazzler a strategist. They could make her a duelist, but I feel like strategist is a little bit more likely. You know, maybe you're healing people with the light. Blinding characters would also be pretty freaking interesting. Kind of like Daredevil's ult, maybe her ult just like blinds everybody with white light instead of darkness. I think that would make sense, right? As far as likelihood goes, it could happen. I actually don't think it's as likely as other people do. I would say it's probably like a 6 out of 10 in terms of likelihood. I don't think anyone is too eager about Dazzler. As far as my personal excitement, probably like a 6 as well. Now, if you'll let me, I want to talk about Angel for a little while here, because I have a lot to say about Angel. For starters, back in ye old days, I had made my own concept for Angel before Angela got added to the game, and my concept was so similar. It's not even funny. In my notes app right now, I have it written down where Angel would be a disruption character where you'd be able to fly around and pick up the enemy team and use your wings as like a shield. pretty much exactly what Angel's got going on right now, I'll be honest. So as far as Angel's moveset in the game, I feel like we got to pivot a little here. Maybe we can come up with something a bit more interesting. You know the team up with Human Torch and Thing, where you can pick up the thing and move around? Maybe we could center Angel's moveset around something like that. Like, what if he's a strategist, but whoever you're carrying gets healed and continue to act as normal? Like, maybe he's just stood behind them holding them. Imagine flying around with like a Hiscan character and they're able to just get what angles they want. That would actually be so cool. I could see his gameplay loop being like hide in the back, fly forward, grab someone at the front who's low on health. Maybe as you're holding them, they get healed, move them to a more advantageous position, fly back. I think that'd be pretty cool. And of course, like as far as like melee attacks or just like any attacks in general go, smacking around them wings, very obvious. I'm going to be honest though, this is never going to happen. Why? Because they would add Archangel instead, for sure. I don't see a universe where they add Angel as Angel and not as Archangel. They would definitely be more interested in adding him as Archangel, especially with the whole Apocalypse thing going on right now. Yeah. However, if they add Archangel to the game, I think he would be a duelist instead. The only reason I give it an 8 is because of the whole Horsemen of the Apocalypse thing going on right now. Maybe they lean into that with new characters. I don't know. I'd be really excited for both, actually. I'm going to give Angel a 9, Archangel an 8. Yeah. Speaking of Apocalypse, why don't we talk about him? Because that seems also just as inevitable to me, honestly. Like, there's no way they don't add Apocalypse. If they've already gone through the effort of doing all the art for his model, come on now. His in-game model exists. There is no universe where Apocalypse doesn't get added to this game. While we're on the subject, I think every character with an in-game model definitely comes out. They'll for sure do Dracula. They'll for sure do Kingpin. They'll do Apocalypse. For the ones that don't have an in-game model, but like have story art, like the Grandmaster and the Collector, probably going to happen as well eventually, because they went through a lot of effort to design these, let's be honest. Why would they waste those resources if they never get added to the game eventually? With all these characters I'm talking about right now, I think they're all inevitable, but I bet it happens later in the game when they run out of development time. It's like, oh, we've already made these resources, why don't we use them now? I'm jumping all over the place. Let's run it back. Apocalypse, Vanguard, super obvious. Likelihood, 10 out of 10. Genuinely, they're gonna add Apocalypse. There's no way they don't add Apocalypse. Personal excitement, 7 out of 10. Kingpin as well, in the same vein, also a Vanguard, also incredibly likely. I'll actually say a 10 out of 10 for Kingpin as well. They have him attacking in the game. They can reuse all of those animations and just dumb it down a little bit so it's not a boss fight, you know? I'd be really excited with Kingpin. I'll give him a 9 out of 10. Dracula could be a duelist. Less likely, I think, but again, they already have all his attacking animations. They could probably reuse a lot of that moveset. So 8 out of 10 likelihood. I don't really care about Dracula, and I don't know too much about Dracula either, so a 4 out of 10 for excitement for me. With the Collector and the Grandmaster, I have no idea what their movesets would look like, genuinely. The only reason I'm talking about them today is because they already have art, and I just don't feel like they would waste it, right? So likelihood for both of them, probably like a 7, 6 out of 10 maybe, because they're like less movesetable in my mind. I don't know what role they would be. Genuinely about to do some research right now because I don't know enough about these characters. Apparently the Collector can shapeshift. I didn't know that. Superhuman strength, massive size, shapeshifting, fire, powerful energy blast. Okay, let's make him a duelist. Why not? For the Grandmaster, it's mostly talking about force fields, teleportation. Okay, let's make the Grandmaster a strategist then. There we go. And then my personal excitement for those, if I hadn't said it already, got 5 out of 10. I forgot about Null. Null. Throw him in there. We'll make Null a duelist. I don't know enough about Null either. I'm sorry. We'll make him a duelist. Likelihood, probably a bit more likely than the other two, eh? Like a 7 out of 10. And personal excitement, like a 4. I don't care about Null. Another glaringly obvious hole in the roster right now is the omission of the screen Guardians of the Galaxy. We don't have Gamora. we don't have Drax, and we don't have Nebula. I'm genuinely really surprised about the omission of all three of them because I feel like they're so popular just because of the MCU that they should have made the cut, right? The fact that we took Adam Warlock over Gamora. Okay. So with Gamora first, I think Gamora would be an obvious duelist, obviously using a lot of sword slashes. Maybe she has a gun, but primarily probably using the swords. I think it's likely. I think it happens eventually. It probably just takes a bit of time. Like they're probably holding off on that one for a while. I bet it's an 8 out of 10. It'll happen someday, surely. Personal excitement, 7. Drax, I'm going to make a Vanguard just because he's a bit bigger in stature and we need more Vanguards in the game, let's be honest. Again, probably pretty easy to make a moveset for. A lot of hand combat, you know? I could see him playing pretty similarly to like the Hulk or Thing, where it's like primarily like melee slashes with his weapons. Maybe if you stand still, he turns invisible. That's a really good idea. Same as Gamora. Likelihood, like an 8 out of 10. Personal excitement, like a 7. Do we make Nebula a duelist or a strategist? I feel like a big part of her character is her, like, self-healing. I don't know. I'm reading here, it's mostly hand-to-hand combat stuff, but apparently she can shoot blasters out of her wrists. Some range capability, that's good. You know what? In the Google search here, it says she's also a brilliant strategist. Let's do it. Google says so. Okay. Likelihood, 7. Maybe slightly less, actually, than... Yeah. Let's go with 7. Personal excitement, 6. You know, Falcon could be a pretty interesting flyer. I want to see Falcon in the game. When I was little, Falcon used to be my favorite superhero by a long shot. So I would be really excited if they added Falcon in the game. I would actually give it a 10 out of 10 on the excitement factor, just because of how much I used to love Falcon as a kid. His moveset would probably be pretty easy to imagine. I would think of him as a duelist, maybe a flyer, you know, you're flying in. We don't have a lot of flying melee characters other than Angela right now, so I feel like Falcon could fill that niche pretty well, but as a duelist. Oh, the question is, do they go Bird Falcon or do they do the MCU Robot Falcon? What's with Marvel and taking away my bird boys' organic wings, eh? Why can't we just keep them birds, man? Why can't we just leave him as a bird boy? I bet they do it. I bet they make him mechanical. Please just let my man have his wings. Oh, for an ultimate, let's bring out Red Wing, eh? Maybe Red Wing can be like a homing missile, I don't know. So as I said before, excitement, 10 out of 10. Likelihood, I bet they do Falcon eventually, like an 8, I'm sure. He's definitely going to have guns though. They're definitely going to make him cybernetic. Please don't. So Colossus is pretty much inevitable, right? There's no way they don't do Colossus. Do you guys remember that art video from a while back where in like the background of one of the monitors you can see his leg? Yeah. They're working on Colossus right now. I'm on to you. I also think that in Deadpool's reveal, he mentioned Colossus and Juggernaut. So they got to add both of them eventually, right? For some reason, when I think of Colossus, I think of him like T-posing and spinning. Is that something he does? Maybe I'll try to find a clip of that and put it on the side here because I don't know why, but that mental image lives in my brain right now. That'd be fun though, like spinning like a top, knocking people back. Otherwise, you'd probably just play very similarly to those other melee characters I mentioned before as tanks, like Hulk and the Thing. I want him to use his legs, though. Can we get Colossus kicking? I want to see some Colossus kicks out there. Colossus is a 10 out of 10 for inevitability for me. It's going to happen. There's no way they don't put him in the game. Excitement. I love my X-Men. Let's give him an 8. While we're on the topic, Juggernaut. It's going to happen. I want to run in. I want to bulldoze everybody. I want to run straight through the enemy team. I'm gonna love it. I can totally see Juggernaut as a disruption character where you just charge headfirst, kind of like the Thing's like charge ability, but you just like constantly bump people around and do a bunch of damage. Oh, imagine if you bump them into a wall. It does like Emma's wall damage. That would be pretty neat. They're gonna add Juggernaut. It's a 10 out of 10. It's gonna happen for sure. Personal excitement, like a 9. I actually really, really want Juggernaut. Let's rapid fire through some Inhumans characters, because I actually think Inhumans need more representation, and I would actually really like to see a lot of them. Black Bolt, in my mind, obvious duelist. You know, you're shooting your sound waves at people. Medusa, Vanguard. You could be using your hair as like a shield. Ooh, maybe she acts similar to Mr. Fantastic, where you're just like whipping people with your hair, you know? That could be pretty neat. And Lockjaw. I think Lockjaw is super likely for some reason. I really, really see a universe where Lockjaw in particular is the first Inhuman added. The first Inhuman added. Jeez. They're going to put Lockjaw in this game. They're surely going to put Lockjaw in this game. We need more teleporting dogs in Marvel Rivals, don't we? Okay, likelihood, Lockjaw. I think it happens. I'm giving him crazy 9 out of 10. I think it happens. Medusa, Black Bolt, 7 out of 10. I bet you they add some, but not all of them. Personal excitement, I just want to see the Inhumans representation, honestly. I will give them, let's give them an 8 out of 10. I don't really know why, but they are not utilized at all. I was playing Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 the other day, and was having a lot of fun with Crystal. So I'm really surprised that no games utilize those characters ever. It's really strange, isn't it? Do you guys think that they will ever add Moon Girl to the game? This is a super loaded question. There's no wrong answers, but honestly, I don't think they do it. I don't think they do it. If they were gonna do it, she would have been there already. She would have been attached to Dino as like a C&D type character. I don't think they put her in the game. I know there's some politics behind whether or not she could be added based on the character's age. I don't know how that works. What I do know is that I don't think she would be interesting enough on her own without the Dino combination. Only way I can see this happening is if there was enough fan outcry when Dino got added that the devs reconsidered and find a new way to add her in. Maybe they age her up. You know, there's a lot of different timelines coming together here. They could get a slightly older Moon Girl in the game. Would that make people happy? I don't know. I'm not sure how excited people actually are for Moon Girl to be added as a character. More so were they just excited to involve themselves in the drama of that whole situation. I'm not entirely sure. Personally, I don't know too much about Moon Girl, so I don't know. Likelihood, I think the fans were loud enough that it could happen. I'm gonna put it at a 5 though, because I could see it going either way. Personal excitement, I don't know, 5. I don't get the hype. I think they would make her a strategist, right? If they add her in, they'd make her a strategist. I think so. If we're looking for some black woman representation, give me Misty Knight. I would love to see Misty Knight as a duelist, actually. I think that'd be really cool. Now that I think about it, let's give Falcon and Misty Knight a team up together. That would be pretty sweet, right? We give her guns, we give her hand-to-hand combat, we let her use the mechanical arm. I don't know, I think that would be pretty cool, right? Isn't that way cooler than Moon Girl? Okay, so duelist for sure. Likelihood, I think it could happen. Like a 6 maybe out of 10. Excitement, I want to see it. Let's do it. Like, give it a 9 out of 10. I want to see Misty Knight. I remember when I first unlocked Misty Knight in a game called Avengers Academy. Real ones know what that is. I had no idea who the character was. That was my first introduction to the character. But she's actually been in quite a few games since then. I talked about it before. I want all of the X-Men from the first class in the game. Give me Beast, please. Beast is another character that I had been theory crafting in my notes. I want to see Beast as a strategist. I want to see Beast as a super agile strategist with some melee capability, of course. He should be slashing. But one thing I came up with, people would hate this, but what if he has like potions that do like area effect things? Like, imagine he has like a cycle of like healing potions, poison potions, attack boost potions on like a cycle, and it affects everybody on the field instead of just your team. That would be pretty neat, in my opinion. Jumping from wall to wall, and you can just like throw poison potions on the other team. I don't know. Am I cooking or what? Give me Beast. Likelihood, 8 out of 10. Personal excitement, 10 out of 10. I really want to see Beast in this game. Let's do it. While we're on the topic, give me Iceman as either a Vanguard or a Duelist. I'd be thrilled with either. Honestly, initially my mind was like Duelist all the way. I think a Vanguard Iceman could be pretty interesting. Because of Emma's like Ice Wall ability with Luna, I could see Iceman having very similar capabilities. But imagine also everywhere the Iceman runs leaves like a trail of ice that gives everyone a speed boost. Oh, imagine being able to like fly around the map by like Frozone Iceman, you know, placing like the the ice in front of you and sliding down it. That would be really, really fun. Just saying. That wouldn't make him a Vanguard though, would it? That's like more duelist, more strategist. I don't know. I could see a lot of different roles for Iceman. All I know is give him to me. 10 out of 10 for excitement and potential like 8 out of 10. I bet they add Iceman eventually. By the way, Guangguan, if you're watching this, I would love to voice Iceman in this game. Give me a shout, please. Next, let's talk about Gore the God Butcher, because Rivals has already revealed that he was the one that killed Apocalypse. Spoilers. So it's all but confirmed that Gore is going to be coming eventually or going to be the villain in the next season. I don't know anything about Gore, I'm going to be honest. All I know is he was in that really expensive Lego set, the goat boat. Nobody bought that, I don't think. If you have it, let me know in the comments, but I don't think anybody bought that overpriced set. I didn't see Love and Thunder. I think he was in that one, so I don't know about Gore. I don't know anything about Gore, but I'm ranking him here because I'm pretty sure it's inevitable. I think he's going to be a duelist. From what I understand, he has a sword. Ranking how likely he is, I have to give it like a 10 out of 10 pretty much, because it's all but confirmed. But I could not care less about this character, to be honest. I'm actually gonna rank him like a 3 out of 10 because I don't care about Gore. I'm sorry to the Gore fans out there, but I don't think he's for me. Vision is another character that I'm surprised isn't already in the game, and he's also a character I could see working as a lot of different roles. Immediately, Duelist is what came to mind. Maybe shooting lasers and becoming invulnerable, attacking, but I actually think as a Vanguard, it'd be pretty neat for him to just have like, I don't know, I feel like it's not too far of a stretch for him to have like hologram shields, or like, I don't know, maybe he can make other people invulnerable. Or that's a strategist thing, you know? I could actually see any of the three roles. I think most people want him to be a strategist. I'm going to classify him as a duelist because that's what's making most sense in my head right now. But realistically, any of the three roles would be pretty cool. Obviously, he should be able to fly, you know? The intangibility is a really big one for him. Yeah, I think he's mostly a melee character, but like shooting lasers and stuff, you know? Vision, yeah. I think he's pretty likely. I think I'll give him a 7 out of 10 for plausibility, and I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10 as well for how excited I would be. Bullseye would be really, really, really cool. Imagine his like bullets automatically locked on, kind of like how Cloak and daggers go straight to your teammates, like they're auto locking. I think that Bullseye should be a 1-star character that lands every single one of his hits. I think that it would be a really interesting character that perhaps he's like doesn't do a lot of damage, he's pretty weak, but he's super accurate and great for beginner players. I think that just makes sense for the character too. Like, he doesn't miss, you know? I think the concept of a character who doesn't miss sounds pretty broken, but you know, like Scarlet Witch auto locks on and everyone thinks that Scarlet Witch is a really bad character. Like C&D, like I just mentioned before, also has the same gimmick. So maybe the character isn't meta, but great for new players, you know? Obviously a duelist for Bullseye. Likelihood? I don't know, actually. I don't think they do it. I don't think they do it, but I would be thrilled to see it. So, you know, like, I would give it an 8 out of 10 for how excited I would be, but I don't think they'll do it. Probably like a 6. You know, I thought this would be a long video, but I'm actually ripping through these quicker than I expected. Mysterio. Hey, strategist Mysterio. I feel like with Mysterio, you can do a lot of the same gimmicks I was talking about with Enchantress. Maybe his thing is confusing the enemy team. You know, like maybe you're making the opponent see things that aren't actually there. That would be pretty cool. Imagine there's like fake versions of the enemy team that like you shoot at and they disappear. That would be pretty trippy. You could play with blindness. You could play with really anything that would disrupt the enemy team. I think Mysterio would be really cool as a strategist. I think he's likely too, you know? I don't think he's unlikely. I feel like I'm defaulting a lot to 7 out of 10 for likelihood, but I think it's because a lot of these I can imagine as possible. And Rivals is really, really good at just throwing unexpected characters out there too. So yeah, a 7 out of 10 sounds reasonable to me. I'd be really excited for this one too. I think I'd give it an 8 out of 10 for how excited I would be. To throw another fun one out there, I think Howard the Duck sounds really Rivals coded to me. I could totally see a universe where they add Howard, especially because Deadpool's in the game already. I feel like a team up between them would be pretty interesting. When I think of Howard the Duck, I think of Lego Marvel superheroes. If you know, you know. You know, they could give him some like giant guns and stuff. He'd probably be a duelist. I have a very similar mental image to a playstyle that I was thinking about when I was thinking about Hitmonkey. Animals with guns, baby. What can I say? Just give him some guns. Maybe he could have like a rocket launcher or something as an alt, you know? I think that'd be pretty cool. I need to watch the Howard the Duck movie. Someone remind me I need to watch that. Likelihood? He is Rivals coded, you know. I bet it happens. I bet it happens eventually, and I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. My excitement level? 7. My mental image of Mystique is really interesting. I feel like the whole Loki transformation thing is being really underutilized right now. And if they made Mystique's playstyle entirely center around the idea of transforming into other people and hiding in plain sight, I think that would be really, really cool. What role does that classify as? I don't know. It could be a strategist. It could be a duelist. Probably not a vanguard. Probably a duelist. If she was a duelist who could blend in with the enemy team, like transform into one of them and convince them that you're one of them. Maybe your health bar changes to the opposite color so that the enemy team thinks you're one of them. That would be pretty neat. Just the concept of being sneaky sounds really fun to me. So I think Mystique would be really cool, and I'd be super excited for this idea. I also think it's really possible too. I'd rate it like an 8 out of 10, and I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10 for how excited I would be. I can't believe I didn't even mention it yet, but Doctor Doom is probably the most inevitable character that we talk about today. There is no universe where Doctor Doom or Doom 2099 doesn't get added to this game. One of these options is going to happen, and the other will be like a skin swap for the character. There is no way that they don't add Doom into this game, and I think everybody and their mother assumes that it will be during Avengers Doomsday's release. Doctor Doom will come out. It makes way too much sense. As far as role, I would like him to see a Vanguard, or see him as a Vanguard. I could see him as a duelist as well. I doubt it will be a strategist. I think he'll just be a very tanky brawler in a Vanguard. I would love to see it, and it will happen. It's a 10 out of 10 for likelihood. There's no universe where Doctor Doom doesn't get added to this game. I would bet everything I own. And I'd be excited too. Like, Doctor Doom is a pretty cool character. I think everybody agrees. So, like an 8 for my excitement. Do we think there is a universe where Danny Rand as Iron Fist gets added into the game? It's possible. It's very possible. It's unlikely, but I think it could happen. I know that there's some text in the game. I'm not sure if I'll be able to dig it up, but there is some text that like references Danny as a character. Obviously, we have Lin Lie as the Iron Fist in the game currently. There could be 2, on the character select screen. It could say Danny Rand instead of Iron Fist. Or maybe there's another Iron Fist adjacent title that he uses. I'm not sure. What I do know is I'd like them to mix it up a little bit. I'd like to see him as a Vanguard instead of as a duelist, because I don't want their movesets to be too similar. I feel like they can mix it up quite a bit by making him a Vanguard and throwing in their own unique ideas for his moveset. Is it likely? Probably not. I would rank it like a 6, maybe even a 5 for likelihood, just because we already have an Iron Fist. I'd like to see it though. Yeah, I would give it like a 7, you know? I'd like to see Danny in the game. I really hope that they add Green Goblin to the game. I think it would be so fun to fly around and throw pumpkin bombs on people on your glider. I bet they add Green Goblin as a flyer at some point. I think a lot of people would be really excited to see him in the game too, and I think there's a lot of potential for a moveset there. I could see him being pretty similar to Torch. Maybe he has like some like fire lingering after you throw a pumpkin bomb. I don't know. There's a lot of ways you could go about the Green Goblin moveset. Maybe he could have like various levels of like transformation. Like maybe he injects himself and becomes like a super goblin. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here. I would like to see him though. I do think that Green Goblin makes a lot of sense, and I think the community would be thrilled to see him. So likelihood, like an 8 out of 10 actually. I think it's probably going to happen at some point. And I'll give him a 9 out of 10 because I'm really excited to see him at some point. I think he'd be a duelist, by the way. I don't really see him being any other role. I think as a duelist would make the most sense. Another character that you see in leaks all the time is Armor, who's another character I'm pretty unfamiliar with. I hadn't even heard of her until I saw leaks with her name in it, and I had to look into her myself. I'm looking it up right now because I don't know much about the character, but she has a psionic exoskeleton armor. She'll be a Vanguard if she gets added. I don't know how realistic adding her to this game would be, because I don't think anyone is like asking for armor, but it does seem like another one of those picks that Rivals would make out of the blue, and I think that I like the idea of it. We need more Vanguards in the game, so sign me up, honestly. So as far as likelihood goes, if the leaks are to be believed, then like an 8 out of 10, but just like actual plausibility outside of the fact that she's been leaked, I'd say like a 5. Who knows if those leaks were even real. So I'd like it though. I'll give it like a 6 out of 10 for my excitement level. I've got a controversial opinion here, so I'm going to tread this one pretty lightly. Galactus. I don't want Galactus to be added to this game. I feel like if Galactus was a playable character on par with all these other characters, I feel like it's a disservice to the character, you know? They'd have to really scale him down too, which isn't ideal. I'd actually rather see Galacta become playable at some point rather than Galactus, because I don't know, I feel like you can't make Galactus work in this game. He's too big. I don't want to see it. I think it's possible. I'd rate it like a 5 out of 10. And I'd probably make him a Vanguard, by the way, if he were to be added to the game. I'd say like a 5 out of 10 on the plausibility scale. I would rate it like a 2 out of 10 for my excitement level, though. If they do this, I'll just be like, no, why, you know? I don't know. Maybe I'm being a hater, but I don't want to see Galactus in this game. You know who would be a really, really good Vanguard, though? Sandman. Please add Sandman. I think Sandman would make the coolest Vanguard ever. Imagine you could create like sand walls as like barriers, and also like he could have like a big fist to punch, and Sandman would be so cool. There's so many unique things you could do with Sandman because the character is so flexible. I don't know what they would decide to come up with, but all I know is I'd be really thrilled to see it. I would rate Sandman like a 9 out of 10 on my excitement level. I think he's an obvious Vanguard choice too, so I wouldn't be surprised if it happens eventually. Probably like an 8 out of 10 on the likelihood scale. Alright, and the final character I've prepared for my list today is Thanos as a Vanguard. I think this is another one of those choices that are absolutely going to happen at some point. There's no way this game continues without Thanos. He's so in the public consciousness now. Everybody's wondering where he is. There's no way that they don't add Thanos. I think he'd be a great Vanguard just because he is a bigger build, and I think that's a reasonable choice for a Vanguard. But there's a lot of creative things you could do with his moveset, and of course, his ultimate has to be a snap. He has to snap. It could delete half the lobby, maybe. I don't know. Or maybe there's some like Infinity Stone gimmick. Yo, all of his cooldowns could be different Infinity Stones. Hold on. I really want to see Thanos. I'm convincing myself right now that Thanos would be a really good idea. Likelihood, there's no way that they don't add him eventually. Like, he's a 9 out of 10 for sure. And for my excitement, probably about a 9 out of 10 as well. I'd be pretty happy if Thanos got added to the game. I think I'm going to wrap up the video here, but there are so many more characters I could talk about. So let me know if you'd like to see a sequel to this video. Leave a like if you enjoyed it, and thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.